Alright guys, hello and welcome back to some more Raging Loop. Last episode, obviously pretty big, learning that Chimmy remembers the loops too. I didn't mention it before, but like with her accounts of how things went, like how she went there, she started looping, then Mato showed up, then we showed up. It kind of like, it doesn't fully clear Mato, but it makes me like really, like pretty damn sure she isn't the dreamer. Um, because she shows up after Chimmy when the looping's already happening. Honestly, it just makes me think more that she's the sheep, because the sheep showed up because he noticed all the looping. And he didn't, so he wasn't there from the start, the sheep. So it kind of made sense that Mato might be the sheep, even if he doesn't realize it. I still think it's really between, I guess it really depends, did the looping start when Shiemi got to the village, or was it going on still and she just like entered the village and got trapped in the looping? I feel is like the big question. But anyways, let's continue this talk. We're about to ask a serious question. So let's see how serious it is.
君にとって嫌かもしれないことを聞くが、すべての確信に迫るためには必須の情報だ。どうか協力してくれないか。もちろん、君が我慢できなくなるような話になったら、やめてくれていい。
Okay, what is this question, man? Sounds serious. I mean, you said it was serious. why would I say that? Chimmy lightly nodded.
君は何か、超常的なものに対して、他の住人とも違う。
True, the god talk
特別な思い
plus the
入れを持ってる
amulet.
ね。
Right, definitely asked about the amulet.
その一つが汚れ、もう一つが神様だ。どっちも教えてくれ。
春明さんはさ、死んでも記憶がある。だから嫌だよ。これから先ずっと嫌われる、気持ち悪がられるのは。
I doubt it.
ようやく見つかった理解者なのに。
大丈夫。君が殺人鬼だってのを聞いても、僕は別に引かなかった。
Yeah, we all did some bad things here. You know what stays in Yasum? Wait, what happens in Yasumizu stays in Yasumizu?
でも
大丈夫。
絶対に嫌わない。
Well, I mean, we'll see, but
約束する。
probably won't. Unless it's something really bad. After a few seconds of hesitation, she finally gathered her resolve. She then put her hand inside the collar and took something out. There we go. A metallic trinket on a metal chain. That is not metal. That's rope. Well, okay, unless they're just talking about this little part. That's technically a chain. So it's a very tiny chain. Showing 3 symbols, which are the wolf eyes, which we did see on the giant monster. A whorl and a diamond, it was the sign of the Yomotsu Utami. I remember the time I picked it up in Saranadra after I'd won against Chimmy as the snake. Quote unquote won. Isn't that when you died? Or maybe, oh no, you found it after too in the good ending. I forgot. You also find it like when you die in the bad ending of that route. So it belonged to her, huh? You don't, yeah, that part.
これは。いや、見ないで。芹沢様、申し訳ありません。その怪我で
Rikako knows about it.
私にも引き取れない。
It came back to me. Rikako-san had discovered something pendant-like that Chimmy was wearing. After that, Chimmy went nuts and ran off into the mist. That meant that what I found in the Saranada on the other timeline had been dropped by her after she jumped off the cliff. And I finally realized another thing. Here, the talisman with the sign of the Yomotsu Utami, Yomi itself, was the worst of omens, and actually wearing it couldn't have been a good thing. It could only represent the worst, most fearful, and maddening of things.
これは私が小さい頃から肌身離さずつけていたも
Wearing a bad luck charm is kinda crazy.
の。もうこの意味は知ってるよね。渦と爪、 汚れた狩り場の主を意味するよもつ狼のお印。
君が、なぜそれを？
私が汚れているから。私の元の名前は
Old name? Hidruchi?
身車千恵美っていう。
Mitaruma. Oh, dude, that's what I meant! Fuck, that was what I meant. No, I swear. Hidruchi's the fucking... with the Yasunaga. I was thinking of the Shrine Maidens. God damn it. Mitaruma. Yeah, okay, so we did have a Mitaruma with us this whole time. There you go. And I guess she just got banished here. Dude! That made sense, kinda. Well, not really. Never mind. No, never mind. No, I was thinking of in the second route when we were trying to infiltrate and we were talking to the Hidruchi man. I thought it was Mitaruma for some reason, but no. It's like they got kind of pissed at us when we said, oh, we want to go see Chiemi. Or maybe it was a police officer. But never mind. Mitaruma. The tower lookouts, the top of the four head families in Kembe Fujiyoshi. The snake.
身車千恵美は蛇の息女だった。兄弟はいない。だから養子を迎えて当主の奥方様になる予定だった。5つになったあの時まで。
Until she was 5. What could change when you're a 5-year-old? Chimmy's eyes turned dry and empty.
あの日、私はいたずら心で三の蔵の地下の扉を開けた。決して入っちゃいけないと言われた。このお印が刻まれた鉄の扉を。そして。
Oh.
落ち着くんだ、ちえみちゃん。君が見たのは
Gods. She came back to her senses and light returned to her eyes. I knew it. I could see part of the conspiracy.
噛まれたんだな、犬に。
So, are you telling me that Kami Fujiyoshi, those Dodds, like not the giant werewolves, but the Dodds in the corruption are from Kami Fujiyoshi? And there actually is a conspiracy going on there? That's not something I thought. I thought they were actually unrelated. As it became harder for her to speak, she pulled up her sleeves and showed me her wrists. There were old but clearly visible scars on them.
黄泉の汚れはその身に受ければいずれ人を狂わせ殺す。私は身車の者はそれを小さい頃から刷り込まれて育つ。
なぜそんなものを身車が飼ってる？
黄泉の入り口はサラナガだけじゃない。
It was Adam, please. Okay, that's an entrance to Yomi.
それを守ってた上松家が役を果たせなくなって。
代わりに身車が？
Shimmy nodded.
黄泉の汚れを受けた息女なんて身車にはふさわしくない。
Damn, they really banished a 5-year-old? That's crazy.
だからモッチーと同じように私は家から出された。ごめん、だいぶ落ち着いてきた。
無理はしないで。
大丈夫。私は会ったこともない分家に縁組されて休みず送りになった。モッチーと同じパターンだね。
Huh, so they changed surnames because of the disowning. Uribe was probably Kyrie's Sans maiden name, but yeah, I could see how they worked around this.
身車の息女だったって話はみんな知らなかった。
Okay, they didn't. I was gonna ask, do they know? But then I didn't, because I thought they probably do know. They just don't care.
すごい秘密主義の家でね。
But I guess they don't
子供が
know.
生まれたとか誰が死んだとか10年くらい隠すらしい。
And that's why Ritaka was surprised till she realized I don't know if she realized who Chiemi was, or at least what happened to her. Okay, it's kind of making sense.
人の口にとは、
立てられる身車なら。だって届け出をする役場の人間とか葬儀場だって全部身車だし。
なるほど。でも、なんでそんな秘密主義を？
それは小さい頃に追い出された私にはわからないけど、秘密が力を持つことを知ってるからじゃないかな。
Secrets, mysteries could mobilize people, huh? Intelligence management was extremely important when keeping a group in line, especially for the Midoruma who were doing something dangerous.
この首飾りは汚れの証。私が汚れを受け、やがて黄泉のものになることを運命づけるもの。しかしそれまで黄泉の汚れを抑える御するものだとも言われた。よもつ狼は恐ろしい読み人。それを読み人を滑るものと捉え、私が汚れを受けた読み人が暴れ出すのを抑えてくれるってね。私はそれがとても怖かった。
That was nothing more than her earnest beliefs. That was why I understood just how pure and profound her feelings were. She'd come to know immense despair at an extremely young age.
それで、休みずに来て、どうなったの？
まあ、荒れたよね。自分が汚れて、汚れた場所に送られたっていうのは幼いな
Probably
りに分かっ
explains
て
why
たし
she also like almost killed someone before. I forgot what the exact backstory was, but she almost killed someone at school, I think.
一番の被害者はタエばあちゃんだな。当時は食堂はばあちゃんがやってて、私がご飯拒否しまくってたから。
Oh, so that was why they were still so distant.
芹沢として小学校に入ったけど、ちょうどその頃、休みずの学生は私だけだったから、きつかったな。いじめられたし、やり返したら口裏合わせられるから、私が悪者になるし。
Rough.
その時の先生が分かってくれたから、それでもギリギリ助かったんだけどさ。その先生が転任してからは肩身狭くて。そのうち、オリベさん家が引っ越してきて、ヤスくんやハルちゃん、ヨシく
That
んも入
helped.
学して。したら、ほら、お姉さんじゃん？頑張らなきゃじゃん？それで、ちょっと、まあちょっと。
ボッコボッコにしちゃったか。
Yeah, okay, I remembered, right?
ボッコボッコにしちゃったね。ま、すっごい謹慎とか説教とか食らったし、休みずへの風当たりが一時えらいことになったんだけど、おかげで学校でのちょっかいはピタリと止んだと自負しておりますよ。
なるほどね。
So that was why the children here adored her, but she felt awkward around the adults.
それ、下の子たちへの義務感と作戦で全部だった？
I mean, I don't know, man. If you're being bullied a lot, sometimes people just snap, man. I feel zero remorse if you're bullying. I mean, I know they're all kids, so obviously it's not like world ending. They can probably reform, but yeah. I was never really bullied. Because I have a very good social mask where I kind of just get along with everyone. I feel like the only partial bullying I've ever got was like freshman year of high school. Like in geography class, there was this really annoying guy that kept poking me with a pencil, but then I became friends with like some of the popular kids and it kind of just stopped. So yay for sociability. But yeah, obviously don't like bullies. And if you've read a lot of Japanese or like Korean literature, their examples of bullying are actually like insane. So it's obvious. Well, bullying's bad everywhere, but it can go crazy over there, man. And sometimes I read a story and there's like a bullying thing going on. Like I recently read like the first volume of the Ao Oni light novel, and the bully there was insane, bro. It was crazy. I was like, oh man, this sounds fake, but it's It's probably super harsh over there. Probably because of the culture slash work ethic. But anyways, yeah, who cares?
9割ブチギレただけでした。
Yeah, just deserved.
気にしない
Snap on
気に
them,
しない
Shammy.
生かす生かす。
ぶっちゃけ荒れてたんで。
でもその根底には常に汚れへの恐怖があった。
That
いつか
too,
自
right?
分が本当に狂ってしまうという恐怖の裏返し、あるいは自暴自棄だった。
春秋さんは何でも知ってるな。
ごめん、分かった風なことを。
いいのいいの。分かろうとしてくれる人もこれまでいなかったわけだしさ。
Jimmy diddled. She could laugh at it now, but probably only because she'd grown up and realized a few things.
外に出ていろいろ調べた。その犬のこととか。
そりゃね。
I'd be super interested too.
ということは、
You could get
君
internet
は
out
も
of
うそっ
here.
ちは怖くないはずじゃないか。
Surely Wikipedia will save me.
私が怖いのは神様で、神様が与える汚れだから。それが科学的にどういう病気かとかはあんまり関係ない。
じゃあ、それについて話そう。僕は巻き戻りを繰り返す中で
Yep.
神様に会った。
And it's pretty convincing.
今は神様というものの意味も大体分かってるつもりだ。
Can't say that shit's scientific when you almost got possessed. And Mato got possessed?
それにしても、君が恐れている神様というものとはちょっと実像がずれてる気がしてならない。ちえみちゃん、君には神様
Visually.
が目に見えたりしてるんじゃないのか。
みんな神様には合ってるよ。見えていないのかもしれないけ
Can only hear it.
ど、狂ってるって思うよね。
それ言ったら死に戻りとか、神様そのものがすでに
True. Very true.
受け入れるモードに入ってるよ。
柔軟すぎる。あなたはタコか。
Okay, that was funny. That was actually funny. Why did everyone like compare me to weird stuff so much? I mean, that was just a funny pun, man. It wasn't that you were an octopus. Flexible, like, okay.
そうだね。
Like, come on.
私にはそれが見える。
狼の加護を受けた時の3人組のあれとはまた違うもの？
Good question.
神様はほとんどの人にくっつい
Is
ているよ。
on everyone.
メイコみたいな小さい子にも？
メイコちゃんのはよく見えないな。何かいるけど、大きいのが。
It seems big.
休みずには神様が3種類いるって聞いたんだけど。
どこの誰から聞いたの？
God.
それは秘密。
Wait, tell her. Why are we not telling her? That was sharing out, sharing everyone.
休みずの神様は、神内様
Sharing
と神
all
様
our
しか知ら
info.
ない。
Hmm?
神内さんは神様だろ？
神内さんは神様だけど、神様は別のものだよ。
I wonder if her dot. I don't think her dot is the dot we know. Then.
はるちゃんについてるのは
Oh,
神様だよな。
well, this will know the answer.
うん。
Okay, it is that dot.
多分理解できた。
本当に？教えてよ。
Also, tell me.
それは
What?
まだもうちょっと後だ。
At least inner monologue, so I know what you're thinking.
もったいぶりっ子はいいから。
Yeah, don't be like that. I want to know too. No. At this point, I was now able to split up and think about the problems I was involved in right now individually. One problem was the prevention of the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Another problem was the prevention of the giant monster's resurrection. And the third problem was the ending of the loop. They were all related, but they all needed different solutions. And if it's the first one, the feast I'd have to use the looping to do something about God. Specifically, the god that had Shimi as well as everyone else in Yasumizu completely imprisoned. Weak, powerless god my ass. This one was a pain to deal with because they were powerless. I had to be careful about how I dealt with it. as well as Chiemi, God's prisoner. Okay, so we can't
もう少し秘密だ
can't fully rely on her then, is what they're saying.
なんで
Wish he would say everything he's thinking, because my mind's not fully wrapped around exactly what's happening.
秘密が力を持つことを知ってるからさ
Ooh, hit her with that classic line. By classic, I mean just the line they used this episode. We continued exchanging info. I couldn't keep the sheep hidden, so I started with that. Oh, my boy.
僕は巻き戻る瞬間に羊さんの姿を見ていて多分そのおかげで
Yeah, we got the sheep buff.
んだけど君はい
や全然覚えがない
To be the dreamer. Because the only reason we get our memories is the sheep. If she gets her memories from something else, then it's a little sus. That meant that the reason she kept her memories was different from mine. Yeah, sus. Also, her memory retention was less consistent than mine. Some memories actually felt like a dream for her, and often lacked clarity. That's why the sheep's the goat, man. He's good at keeping that shit intact. She said that for all she knew, she might have looped a lot more times than she realized. I was curious why she kept her memories, but I set it aside for now. Anyway, according to the sheep, the loops were happening because of the dream. I thought over it in my own way the things it quickly shared with me. Something had absorbed Fujiyoshi and its general area into a dream. It was absurd, but I had to accept it. An area of some square kilometers had been detached from the real world, meaning that this was like a virtual reality. This space could be restarted, and it probably had a different flow of time. I'd spent a lot of loops here, but I bet not even a second has passed in reality. This dream could have happened over and over without wasting any time. That gave the mastermind behind it countless chances to create the ending they wanted, and once that happened, the dream would stop being a dream. It would become prophetic, basically, or rather, stop being reset and just a dream and turn everything that happened in reality. That meant that I could be going about my business, still thinking that I could retry it all, when the master of the dream could just yank the rug from under me and be like, nope. That's why we're stealth, so the dreamer doesn't know. But I guess if Chiemi was the dreamer, then it would already be game over, because we admitted that we're looping. And I guess maybe just a simple explanation for Chiemi's looping is just because of the corruption she took in, or whatever, the curse when she got bitten. That could be an easy answer. This was as if reality had an intrusive editor who told the author to turn anything he didn't like into a dream. Man, was that messed up. According to the sheep and Chiemi's info, the range of the dreams had changed.
最初のうちは夢はずっと循環していた。しかし、異分子が取り込まれ、夢は奇妙に変容し
I thought that was me, but that could also have been Chiemi or Meiko.
てめえが来てからは
No, it was me. Okay, I forgot the context. That's why I thought it was me, because he says that literally. Great.
僕が動いたせいで夢が変わった
We're the X Factor, baby.
その後変化があった
Meiko's a big
迷い
question.
込んできたの春明さんが来たのはメイコちゃんに次いで2度目の変化だった振り出しも12時間くらい進んだし
I had no idea how many loops the sheep has been through since starting, but it did mention that things didn't change much at the start. That meant that the result was the same no matter how much the dream repeated, far from the ending the dream's architect desired. That was when they brought in the first outsider, probably Chiemi. The method was most likely moving the dream start some time further. When Chiemi had returned to Fujiyoshi, she had already entered the dream. Okay, so this is... I'm just annotate this as facts. That the looping didn't start with Chiemi. That's what I kind of thought, though. Which means it's probably Rikako. Or the old man. Old wolf guy is still there. Those are like my only two suspects right now. Chemi is lower on the suspect list than Meito too for now. Like it doesn't like obviously Meito came later, but since she's so mysterious and doesn't really have an origin, she could technically be the dreamer, just making shape so she can affect how the dreams go somehow. But I still like to think she's the sheep. Because the start of the loop, the starting point was pushed a bit later, Chemi became a character in the dream. Chemi was the first one who had memories of the previous loops, and with her joining, the dreams began to change. However, those changes didn't satisfy the mastermind, especially with Chemi not really doing anything constructive. Yeah, she just kinda like gave up. Thus, they moved the start a bit later, and this time taking in Meiko, who from what it seemed didn't have any memories of the previous loops. But who knows with Meito, man? Maybe she does have the memories, and she's just vibing, so she doesn't tell, or she just thinks it's like normal. It wasn't hard to guess that nothing was changed by her joining. The third one to enter was me, and I, unaware of the mastermind's plot, tried out various things and ended up fulfilling their wishes. The sheep said that the mastermind still didn't know about its involvement. However, they must have known that Chemi and I often did unexpected things. Though I wasn't sure if they were aware that we had our memories. They either didn't know about it or just didn't know the cause. Yeah, probably shouldn't. I mean, that could have been it. That was one of the moves I was thinking though. Just reveal it at like the first feast and say that it's pointless and we gotta find something else, but that would just show your hand, right?
そうだね。特に安水住人たちには。
嘘。みんなの中にその黒幕っていうのがいるの?
I mean, it's a very short list, and literally like almost everyone is from Yasumizu, so it's obviously most likely to be one of them.
そう考えるべきだと思う。少なくとも巻き戻りに関してはミグルマ家は関わってないんじゃないか。
なんで？
神内明神の目的と違うから。しかし誰なんだ？もう一つの神様を隠してるやつっていうのは。
Old Wolf Guy or Ritato, take your bets. I just think Ritato because she's a bigger character. But the Old Wolf Guy sure is mysterious. He does seem to have a way to like... I do kind of believe them, that the theory that he does have a way to escape death or whatever. And he does live in like a weird old shack that they said could barely be considered a shelter, but he somehow survives. So he is very sus.
自分が持ってる神様を知恵見に見えないように隠すことはできるのか？
私、よく知らない人の神様は普通にあんま見えないよ。
なるほど。
Basically, her ability was like an eye for reading people. Even though you couldn't know for sure based on just faces, some people could intuitively figure out certain things about others just by finding out more about them. In her case, such info was just more visual. It might have been a kind of synthesia. I actually know that. That's where you, yeah, there were people in the world who perceive numbers as colors, but that's where you see different weird colors, right? There's a Argento movie called that, I think. Good movie. I'm a big Argento fan. Kinda. Probably my favorite of the trinity of... the holy trinity of Italian horror directors. With that in mind, I shouldn't have expected her supernatural power to be the solution to this supernatural problem. Instead, I should rely on her ability to retain memories. Yeah, she can be another info gatherer.
これからどうする?
It's like it's double the people for scouting.
条件分けのためにはもうちょっといろんな結末を見たいんだ。僕が知ってるのは宴が狼の完全勝利に終わったパターンと人勝利、狼新勝の3パターン。
Oh, so should we do perfect human victory? Oh! Dude. I know how we can do perfect human victory. We gotta go to the second route where Chemi's a werewolf and Rikato's the spider. Well, no, Mato's the spider, but Rikato's like telling her what to do. And then Chemi just tells us who they're gonna kill every night. And then Haraki just conveys that to Mato or Rikato, whoever you want. Though, again, Rikato's kind of a suspect, so it might be better to just directly do it to Mato somehow. And then they can block every night, and then they can clear the werewolves with no deaths. Perfect human victory. And I guess we can do pirate. Then we need a pirate human victory, which means pirate just means like you win, but you've lost like most of your resources, which means winning with minimal amounts of humans left. That one's a little tricky. I mean, obviously the best way to do this is with Chemi as werewolf and us as snake. It just gives us like a lot of potential to manipulate stuff. I don't think you can really do it in the other routes unless we do it in the first route, since we haven't joined that one, and maybe we did a different role. Because directly having Doctor would actually be like, or not Doctor, I mean Spider. It's Doctor in Mafia. Would also be a little more convenient than conveying it to a person.
狼新章が怪物復活アウトのパターンだったわけだけど、その時の何がアウトだったのか、実はよくわからない。宴が関係してるのか、それとも、実は全然関係ない何かの条件を踏んだからアウトになったのか。そのために、もう何週か宴に挑戦しなきゃならないと思ってる。
マジですか。
I mean, it's the only way we can. We gotta gather info if we want to break this raging cycle.
うん。
ちえみと森の中に逃げてひっそりまったりと過ごすというのは
I mean, we can do that in between loops too, you know, little relaxation, but we don't really have time since the dreamer can again just cut off the dream whenever she wants, or he wants.
死ぬんでしょ
They want.
まだどこかに抜け道はあるのかもしれないじゃん。
Nah, that's Taupe. That's Taupe. Because we die if we... The reason that's Taupe is it's not just Yasumizu in the mist. The fact is, like, even like when we're outside of Yasumizu and Kami Fujiyoshi, if we just try to leave the general area, we get reset in the dream. So it's actually just impossible to escape ever.
まあ、それは確かに。
She's just talking about escaping while the feast's going on, but we tried to escape without the feast going on, and it still ended up badly. So it's just kind of cooked in that regard.
じゃあ決まり。探索しよう。
Nah. Honestly, I didn't think that it would get us any closer to the truth. Me either. But I didn't put much effort into protesting either. She'd been in so many feasts that it became traumatic for her. She wanted to avoid going through it again. She didn't want to be more aware of what kind of murderer she was becoming.
わかった。
Is this how we're gonna end this encounter? Dying in the mist? I would do this with her until she was satisfied. Even if this was a challenge without a real end, it was worth it as long as she could find peace. We tried using our memories to quickly fix the bite and leave. We tried going out through the Sarnaga before the mist came. We waited until the mist came and tried to leave through the forest in full hiking gear I got from the convenience store. No idea why they're selling that. They sell everything. The only problem is you need to specifically convince the the cashier to go get it. In the end, we either were engulfed in mist and died before even realizing it, or were engulfed in mist and died without getting anywhere. In the latter cases, Chimi either died by breaking apart again, or we were caught by those monsters. Interesting. It's interesting that Chimi's always like just fucking rots away. Now that might be the curse of the dog, but we don't experience that ever, so that's like an interesting question. We should probably find out why that's happening. It's probably also caused by why she like loops differently than us. Or an after effect. After trying it enough times, we both became used to it. Oh, I'm crumbling again, she'd say. Then let's stop, I reply as we aimed our guns at each other and killed one another. Based. I mean, if the dreamer's looking at this, then they surely know what's up. But maybe they're not. Taking advantage of shortcuts like that, we came back over and over and tried again. Nothing seemed to work, so we tried spending a night outside after the mist came. We got rid of the dogs with water and guns. So you can just use any water. So it's not... That's actually interesting. So it's not like holy water given by the Utami. It's just water, bro. We should have bought a water gun from the convenience store. Then we could get rid of them better. Hit them with the super soaker. I quickly found out that this was a mistake since Shimmy couldn't keep her presence of mind. Unable to bear the tension and fear, she would mumble something about God and either run off or kill herself. Yeah, the traumatic dog stuff, right? That's unfortunate. Not sustainable. Then, no matter what happened afterwards, I ended up killed by the monster-looking thing. Whether the monster was actually real or not. What do you mean? It wasn't a problem anymore. Why do we even still question that? I'd already know that any rule breakers would be punished. The problem here was that Shimmy still wanted to continue these pointless loops. This really hasn't convinced her? All this? We're looping like fucking Satoko from, Sotsu. I blanked on the name. Where they're just like, oh, minor inconvenience, shoot myself in the head. Let's go there this time. Let's hide here this time. I patiently played along. Being certain that there was no point in this, I played along with her attempts to escape about 50 times. That's more loops we did in this whole game, I think. Probably. Definitely, right? There's no way we died 50 times in-game. My death counter! She's raising it! We're trying to go for minimal deaths here. We continued to do this for a while before I told her to let me try something and somewhat forcefully took the lead. What I wanted to try was a feast victory with minimal casualties. So for the humans, we've never had that, right? Yeah, just perfect wolf with Yasunaga, Pyric with us as werewolf, and normal human victory, because we did lose a couple people for the second round. And how many days to be passed without murder? For that, we had to figure out what sort of rules govern the Guardian assignments. This would be cracked if we can cheat code what role we got. I actually had an idea for how it worked. Really? The first time, the time I was the snake, the time I was a wolf, and the time Chimmy had first become a wolf. Over them all, I noticed that there were trends such as Chimmy's tendency to become a wolf, or Mochi's tendency to become a monkey. That's true. I guess it can't really be random if Mochi became a monkey in 2 different routes. That's weird, right? Same attack me becoming a snake in 2 different routes. So there must be something determining it. To find out the nature of these trends, I wrote down the Guardian distributions I knew on a table. First I tried putting the names in order, then writing down their guardians, but I didn't find any patterns there. Then I had the idea to try basing it on their dwelling locations, and... It's dwelling locations? So the first night, well, we weren't part of that. But that, how does that make sense? Like, yeah, we dwelled in our apartment, we got snake. We dwelled in the construction output, we got wolf. But how does that correlate to, like, everyone else? Because Takumi and Mochi have been sleeping in the same place, I think. The monkey was obviously dependent on where the people lived, and they didn't change much across loops. It was clear that Takumi-san tended to get the snake, and I got in it instead of him this time because our houses were close together. So it's just location RNG. The same could be said about Kairi-san and Yoshitsugu-kun getting the crow. Right, they live in the same place. Basically, the Guardians were given out to the houses rather than the people. That's weird. I was familiar, and yeah, I guess Yasunada is werewolf, Chimi is werewolf in the same student complex. Haru as werewolf, Mochi is werewolf, like all in that area, and oh my god, and the construction shed where we stayed instead of Hashimoto, that's also really close to the student apartment building. Okay, that actually made sense. That's crazy. I didn't think about it, but that made sense a lot. And it's just RNG from the people in that area. I was familiar of a way of allocating data that changed slightly, but not by a lot. I knew a means to bring about such results. A ghost-laid lottery. It wasn't a completely random method. Even if you used tons of lines, the results wouldn't split up properly without intent. And even if there were new possible options, the results wouldn't change without removing or adding new lines. Even if you added 2 or 3 new options to a ghost-laid lottery, you would add them to the right and add a few branches that would leave the left side mostly unaffected. 2 or 3 lines were just a shift in the results, a bit to the side, but not much farther than that. That had to be it, right? As in, someone held a ghost-laid lottery to decide who got which guardian. The theory in my mind, I sought out a particular person.
なあ、もっち。
おお、なぜ僕のあだ名を知っている？
We need your genius here.
いいからちょっと見てくれ。今流行りのパズルなんだ。こういう結果が出る網だくじを君はかけるか？ちなみにこの枝を減らすとこんな感じになって、ここに枝を足すとこうなるよう
And
な
we're
枝を描いて
fixing
ほしいん
who's
だが。
werewolves? Me and Shami, probably? Or, yeah.
なんだと？そんなん全然わからんぞ。
むしろ勘とノリでいいよ。
ほう。ふむ？
Hamu?
こんな感じじゃない？
He actually met the conditions perfectly. How like him. Like hell a puzzle like this could be popular. His talent for getting the answer right without proof actually scared me. It was a talent that could turn society on its head, but that wasn't important at the moment. That's why he's a genius. To see whether the ghost-like lottery was usable, I attacked the Nosato mansion once. Hey! Specifically, I broke the windows the day before the mist came, and he was so scared that he returned to Kemi Fujiyoshi next morning. No bully, my boy. The theory was that the lottery began with the settlement's upper region. That was by adding new people to the empty houses affect the guardian assignments while Kionosuke continued to be human. True, so I guess he just never had a guardian because he was up so far away. Thus, without him, the roles would have to change drastically. With those conditions, I tried a case in which Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san both died when I took the Den dude's place. Okay, because when we did that before, Mamiya was alive. Oh yeah, and that's why Mamiya became a werewolf. She was in the student building. Ended up being the snake while Chemi was the badger. Fun. The wills ended up being Yoshitsugu-kun and Mochi. The Doside lottery was completely accurate. Damn, Yoshitsugu as a wolf is crazy. I also tried looking into how the distribution worked before Meiko came, and apparently there was a human missing in the middle. That confirmed that the guardians weren't handed out by a supernatural force, but through this ghost-like lottery. Using this, I could also create lots of patterns. By changing my residence, I could get whatever guardian I wanted. A good one would allow me to get through it without any problem. We're breaking the game! At that moment, I had suddenly told Chimi that the feast was as good as ours. I never forgot the dead eyes she looked at me with.
で、いつ終わるの？
Well, one step at a time. I finally realized that I made a huge oversight. Chimi had passed her limit long ago, and I'd forgotten that my sense for such things was a bit different than a normal person's. We broke her mind! I wanted to clear the feast with a minimal number of deaths and find out how many days could go by without a murder. It required the agreement of all the participants. It wasn't something I could do by myself, and I needed Chimi to try with me. I didn't mind looping about 100 times more. She, however, didn't want to loop ever again. She tried weird things before because she wanted to try a method that could let her win quickly and easily, even if it was absurd. In her eyes, my plan to loop hundreds upon hundreds of times in a case of trial and error was simply unacceptable. I was killed. She wanted to kill me, and so she shot me right up front.
春明さんさ、春明さんを100回殺したらクリア
Yo, chill, chill.
ないかな。
Wait, be cool. Friendly. I realized that I never considered what a threat Shimmy with memories could be. I was killed over and over then. No, what the heck, man? Okay, now this really is like Satoko versus Rika and Sotsu, man. Get me out of here. Over and over. Sometimes she killed me right upon seeing me in the darkness of Saranaga or the dining hall.
春明さん、楽しいよ。死に顔が斬新、新鮮、嬉しい。
Sometimes she acted out events like I'd remembered them, then grinned and killed me when I was completely defenseless.
忘れてると思った？残念。ブラックチーム
Dark
ちゃんは未だ
Edition.
健在でした。
Apparently, she didn't remember things until I provoked it somehow. That must have been because of the number of loops she'd spent alone was way lower than the number of loops since we started sharing memories. Her loop count was probably way over 100. She was a whole lot more damaged than I first thought. Oh, but after she killed me 63 times, it finally dawned to me. I've been attacked in Saranaga about 20 times now. Half of those times she just blasted me with both shotguns at the same time. Just like, how do you do that? We heard 2 shots, so she had like 2 and she picked up 1 shot, then picked up another one and shot. Not like dual wielding them. She'd fucking like fall down. Otherwise she used traps or feints to corner me, then finish me off. So, she had no idea how to handle a situation in which I survived her first shotgun blasts. Owned.
いや、でも、随分じゃ、僕の。
Oh, she's hesitating because she didn't want us. She wanted to kill us in just 1 shot. Not have a slight struggle.
殺されてさ。
Yeah, can you like stop killing us? This is not nice. Honestly, not even I expected to find a bulletproof vest in that convenience store. What are you talking about? Dude, that convenience store is actually cracked. Honestly, we should just ask them for an item that removes loops, man. Hey, do you have an item that can kill a giant monster? Do you have an item that can kill God? The girl's like, I don't know. I'll check. And then she just brings it out. It didn't protect me completely, though. It just kept my torso from being blown to pieces. My ribcage was shattered, and the internal injuries were undoubtedly fatal. Still, I had enough life in me to catch her off guard and fight back.
ちえみちゃん、どうやって死にたい？
Oh man, this was so satisfying. What do I do next time, though? What would she do to me after this? Will this just continue forever? This might have been an actual dead end.
まったく。
Damn. Does that? I guess that means we just can't share knowledge with Shammy. That's unfortunate. It would have been nice to have an ally. We're so close to ridding the game and just getting perfect answers or perfect feasts the way we want it.
邪魔くさいな。
End of the line for me this time. She could still breathe. My consciousness faded about the same moment as I delivered the final attack. The next loop came. I entered Yasumizu through the Sarnaga and encountered Chimi just like always. This time was different though, she didn't have any weapons. Chimi didn't attack me or run, she just vacantly looked at nothing in particular.
はじめまして、芹沢千恵美さん。
I sat down next to her.
はじめまして。最初から来た。
What a mechanical response. Saying each other's names on our first encounter had become common practice since we started sharing memories of the loops. However, neither of us said anything more this time. It was awkward. It felt like we just had a fight. Well, not like we hadn't.
何起こってるの？
怒る筋合いなんてないし。
だよね。でも怒ってる。
邪魔は
What?
ひどいよ。
But you are! Sorry. Honestly, for me, Rikako stats are going up, baby. Sorry, Chiami.
ここで涙目はずるい。
Unless she's the dreamer, then it might get a little complicated.
殺し方に愛
What do you mean?
すごいこと言うな。まあ、愛を込めて殺したつもりはないし、
Yeah, you're just
そう
blasting
してたって言われても、
and
ちょっと
taunting.
困るけど。
分かってる。分かってるけどさ。私、はしゃいでたな。あなたを殺してる間、閉塞感から目を背けてられた。何度だって殺せるし、何度だって何でもできる相手。それは最低だったと思う。
True.
ごめん。前ので気づいたんだ。私は確かに邪魔をしてたけど、春明さんは自分の行動を自分の目的としか見てないって。
どういうこと？
私たちの目的じゃないんだって。春明さんの中で私はただの脇役で、役に立つか役に立たないか邪魔か。
It's not exactly true. I mean, I didn't see that with Haraki, but we were going through those, like, trying to escape just to, like, help her get better. So that already shows it wasn't just being a side character, right?
あれはちょっとイライラして言っただけだよ。
嘘だ。春明さんは嘘ばっかりだ。ようやく分かったんだよ。私はあなたが怖い。
We are kind of scary.
神様よりあなたが怖い。あなたに傷つけられるのが、殺されるのが、その冷たい目で射抜かれるのが、それくらい
Oh,
私あなたを
well,
好き。
that was not what I was expecting.
好きだから怖い。怖いから好き。好きだから殺したい。殺したいほど好き。私がおかしいのは分かってるけど、その中で分かったのは、やっぱり、でもその思いはきっと一方通行で、あなたはも殺しがなくてもそれは同じだった。そうでしょ？はやめて。
Yeah, say your words properly.
あなたは嘘をつくとき、必ずをつける。召し上がらないの？
I didn't notice that, actually. That is funny.
もうやったからとは、どう
Wait,
いう
that's-
意味でしょうか？
Is this a Ritato tell? I forgot about this line that she picked up on. That could be a Ritato tell for her being the dreamer.
口から出任せですよ。不思議系の物言いって結構言いくるめやすいんです。名前は房石春明。東京で大学院生やっ
Damn,
て
she
ます。
really found our tell.
ねえ、あなたは誰なの？
Wait, are we not Haruaki? Wait, that's crazy.
学生？医者？探偵？
Wait, oh shit.
本物の殺人鬼？
We're just lying?
もう
We do know about
何もわからん。
corpses, which is kind of weird.
あなたを好きだし、殺したいし、怖いし、もっと近づきたいし、逃げたいし、一つになりたいし、あなたのすべてが欲しいけど、あなたはそれを望んでないことだけは分かってる。でもその先も分からない。ただあなたと殺し合ってれば怖いけど幸せかもしれない。ここが地獄だと思ってたけど、本当は天国なのかな。
I push her into the river. What that?
何する るの？
Kiss? Okay. Oh shit.
何するの？
キスですが
その前の突き飛ばしたことを言ってる。
Yeah, couldn't you just kiss instead of pushing it into the water?
いや、とりあえず、僕を数十回ぶち殺しておいて、何言ってんだこいつと思ったので、一度かましておかないとって。あのね、とりあえず復唱。人の嫌がることをしない。
人の嫌がることをしない。
とりあえず僕は死にまくる趣味はないので、愛情表現は他のにしてください。
That's an important part.
ごめんなさい、先生。
で、一応あれを愛情表現として振り返ってみましたが、僕も君のことは嫌いじゃない。頭がおかしいところもお気に入りだ。
そうじゃない。騙されない。じゃあなんで記憶を共有してからちえみって呼び捨てにしてくれなかったの？
気づいてたか？
気づいてたとも。
好きなのと男女として付き合うかどうかは別だからだよ。僕らはお互いに好きだと思うけど、多分相性はかなり悪い。いや、良すぎるかもしれない。僕と君が一緒になれば、二人でどんどん狂っていけてしまうと思う。もしここから出てもね。まあ、多少おかしくても生きていける社会は存在するけど、僕も君も多分、頭がまともな相手を見つけるべきだ。それに僕は、君以外にも義理を持ってしまったから。
I know that's Haru technically, but can't really go for that.
リカ子さん？
ああ、それに、ハルちゃんだ。
いつの間にそんな。
Don't remember
君
that
が
one?
自殺した後だよ。
Oh yeah. Don't remember that route? Oh yeah, it's the one where she killed herself at the beginning. True. Okay. Made sense.
まあいいや。要は私以外のどっちかを選ぼうって言うんだ。今は二人とも春明さんのことを知りもしないのに。
そうじゃない。ただ、二人には結局、ひどくかわいそうな死に目を見せてしまった。
Well, I don't know what happened to Rikako, man. Haru's was pretty sad too, though.
そんな彼女
Actually,
た
they
ちに
both
対
got
して
Hane, technically.
僕が一方的に罪悪感やら、次こそは幸せにしたいやら、そんな感情を持ってしまっていて。そんな状態で君を彼女にするのは不誠実だろ。
そんな状態で水中に押し倒してキスするのはどう考えても不誠実でしょ。
今のでこれまでの殺人は全部チャラだ。
じゃあいいけど。え？私の唇でチャラになるの？
実にいいお味でした。
Damn.
ああ、思い出した。君があの時出したクイズ。エロエロだってのだけ不正解だ。この生娘。
True.
バカ！やっぱ殺さない。やっぱ付き合え。Be my darling。
Be my darling. Oops.
でもって
Oh,
初めてになってよ。
she hasn't even done it.
ああ、これだこれ。求めてたのは、なんて嬉し恥ずかしなんだ。癒される。
だったら
ダメだよ。でないと君は、このループ地獄の中で幸せになってしまう。外に
Kind
出
of a
る気
good
も
point,
な
actually.
くなってしまう。
私はそれでもいい。
Well, we mind that.
いいもんか。君は最初は。
We gotta save Japan.
巻き戻りの連続は人間を歪める。僕だってこれまで何回かそれを意識したことがあった。必要のために我慢はできても死ぬのは痛いし苦しいし嫌だ。これから永遠にここを回り続けて僕らは永遠に死に続ける。 時には前みたく殺し合うことだってあるはずだ。いつまでも、君への好きって気持ちを持ち続けられる自信はないよ。それは君だって、否定できないはずだ。ループが続く限り、僕らは寿命で死ぬこともない。記憶だけがどんどん蓄積されていく。そこでお互いを憎み合ってごらん。ここは本当に、正真正銘の地獄になる。
そんなのやだやだやだよ。
ちえみちゃんは泣き虫だな。
うるさいサイコパス。
True. A murderer just told me a psychopath. Both true. Both kind of psycho. They are good for each other, huh? Anyway, I tried to stay honest from now on.
だから、まだ見えない出口を当てにして、君と付き合うことはしない。
Thus I said it.
これって失恋かな。
うん。
は
つかない。
春明さん、いっぱい殺してごめん
I
ね。
guess we forgive you. All those deaths for a kiss. I just won't take it.
もうチャラだよ。
Yeah, literally, that's what he said.
ちえみちゃんを一回、ものすごく残虐になぶり殺して、ごめんね。
怖かった。
ごめん。
邪魔でごめんね。
言い方、悪かったよ。
もうしないから。
構ってくれること自体は嬉しいんだけどさ。
本
本当だよ。君は本当、殺すとか付き合うとかについて、一度じっくり考え直すといい。
当？そうだよね。殺しの夢を見すぎて何が何だかわからなくなってきちゃった。全部忘れたいな。
二人して、首吊り松のところから皿長に飛び込もうか。さ、
なぜそんな。
頭打って、嫌なこと全部忘れられる
Hey. She can do that. We need to retain our memories. We're trying to save the world here.
いいかも。心中みたいで。
We really might have been insane. Yeah, you think? Or maybe that could be said about everyone who is in love. Nah. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
下見えないね。
そうだね。
落ちたらちゃんと死ねるかな。
さすがに死ねるんじゃないかな。
Last time Shemi jumped in and died, or at least disappeared.
岩の出っ張ったとことかに引っかかったらずっと死ねずに苦しむんじゃないかな。
Call that a skill issue?
じゃあ、どうすればいいと思いますか、ちえみさんは。
そのしっかり抱き合って落ちれば大体同じところに落ちるんじゃないかな。
ロマンチシストめ。あれ？
Oh?
どうしたの？
At this inappropriate moment, I realized something.
いや、今こう思ったんだ。落ちるとき、最悪僕が下になって、確実に地面に激突して、死ねるようにしようって。
わお、かばってくれるって？でもそれ頭ぶつけて全部忘れる計画的に
Yeah,
は
what's the point of that?
効果じゃないかな。
I thought someone was about to pop out. That's why I said
いや、
that.
そうじゃなくて、
そうじゃないのか。
僕が死ねば巻き戻るからって、そう考えてた。
いやいや、それはおかしい。私が死ねば巻き戻るんだよ。
そう、それ。僕らはちょっと、すごく初歩的
But
なとこ
why
ろ
is
で
she
誤解したま
sleeping?
ま、いろんな話を進めていたぞ。僕視点で見れば、僕が死んだ後の記憶は当然ないし、振り出しに戻るのは一瞬だ。でも考えてみれば、君の視点でだって、 死んだら即座に振り出しに戻るわけだよね。
うん、そうだね。というか、そうだよ。私が死んだ後のこととか普通に語ってるから。
Yeah, made sense. Sadly, we talked about loops in which either of us weren't present, but we still don't know the condition that actually causes the loop to reset. Oh yeah, that's true, because the loop, even if we die in a loop, it still goes on. I think it's just at the end of the feast, right? If the result leads in the monster or not, and if the monster doesn't spawn, it loops again.
僕は自分が死んだら後のことは全てなかったことになる。
You see how fucked up this is? This is the whole Higurashi Sotso thing, with Satoto just killing herself a bunch of times, like just in the middle of casual conversations. Because even though they're looping, like imagine like you're just chilling and then you just see Chemi just slit Haruraki's throat and you're like, what the fuck? And then she kills herself. It's traumatizing. You're traumatizing everyone.
私も。でも、そうじゃないのは私たち自身が証明してる。
じゃあ世界はいつ巻き戻るんだ？
私たちの振り出しみたいに特定の日が折り返し地点なんじゃない？
It might be that. Yeah. Just restarts on a day, actually, instead of a specific
4
thing.
日で宴が終わって数日だから10日とか2週間とかじゃないか？いや待てよ。なんか
We did, in
も
the
っと
second
もっ
route,
とず
when
っ
we
と
went to
長い間
the
生きてられ
engagement
たよ
ring.
うな気もする。
私はせいぜい1週間くらいだな。でも逆に
A year?
例えば今から1年後とか。
Yeah, this we don't know when it actually loops back. It's kind of scary.
ああ、僕らが死んだ後はいくら時が経ってても当然僕らには認識できないからな。
そうそう。最悪数兆年経って世界が一回滅びてから巻き戻ってるのかも。
Weird ass loop.
可能性はゼロじゃないが、そんな壮大な規模の話じゃないと思う。
Yeah, otherwise the sheep would be having a rough time. It has to be frequent.
この事件には黒幕がいると分かってる。黒幕は怪物復活を成就するためにこの巻き戻りを起こしている。そうなると失敗したら即座に巻き戻るような仕組みになっている。
Yeah, that's what I thought at first.
確かに。
そうなると僕らが生きていたとしても黒幕が失敗したら巻き戻りが発生することを意味する。
Oh, there was one instance of that. I think it was in the second route as a snake where we went to sleep and then we didn't die from a werewolf. The world just reset. Oh, we gotta check that out after.
そういうことはなかった？
I don't know if you remember. I'm pretty sure that was during the snake route.
なぜか巻き
And
戻
the hint was, oh, that was weird. Well, you'll learn about why that happened later. This has to be it. Oh, wait, that's so interesting.
香織さんの暴走で私がたまたま生き延びて。
I'll make a note of that for next episode. Okay.
僕もある。藤吉に移住しよう
Well,
と
that
して
too.
駐在のおっさんに絡まれて
But that's not what I
追い
was
返された
thinking.
時とかだ。
というか、ちょっと前に2人でバイク直して速攻逃げた時もそんな感じ
But
だ
I
った
guess
じゃん。
that counts.
忘れてた。
So they need us for the monster to spawn, is what that means?
もちろん霧の中で事故っただけかもしれないが、それにしちゃ記憶が曖昧だ。ここだけ巻き戻りを起こすトリガーは他にある。
Another trigger.
これ今夢なんだよね。誰の夢なの？
The sheep had told me that the opponent was a dream
黒
wielder.
幕が自分の夢の中で陰謀を進めて、
失敗して死んじゃったらまた
Yeah.
最初から夢を見直してる
Is that not obvious?
手がかりだ。
Is it?
出られ
Thought
る？
we were talking about that.
そう甘くはないよね。
Thought we were literally having this conversation with that in mind. I fell silent, and after looking at the void before me,
どうする？頑張ってみる。
でもやっぱ一回は落ちたいな。
このマゾ。
やっぱ殺しすぎた記憶はヘビーだし、これ以上繰り返すのは辛いから。忘れられなくてもちょっとくらい気分転換できたらなって。
気分転換で脳みそクラッシュか。大事な記憶を振り落とすかもよ。
それはきっと大丈夫。今の超重要な発見とかも
It would really suck if you lost your memories.
再び思いつけるはずさ。
互いが記憶を共有してることも忘れるかも。
そこまで忘れちゃったら逆にいいな。何も知らんまぞいちえみはここから抱き合って落ちるってシチュに結構ハマっているのです。どうせこれがそういうのの最後かもしれないしさ。
After all, I rejected her.
心中のおセンチを味わえてその次やり直せるってのは不謹慎だけど結構うまい話だなって。
君のそういう頭の働かせ方、本当に嫌いじゃない。
本当？好き？
好きだよ。
心の底から愛してる。
Right before I was about to talk, my mouth was closed shut. Her lips cut my words short.
やるじゃん。
しっかりしてよ、春明さん。どうせ忘れるならサービスして。
There was no guarantee we'd forget it. Oh well.
愛してる。ちえみのことが愛しくてたまらない。
嘘くさ。
悪かったな。詐欺師っぽくて。
ほんとほんと。でも私も好きだよ、春明さん。
では。
Bonsai! With the hope of starting anew. Geronimo! Then all the nonsense, pain, hatred, and sadness, we innocently smiled at each other, and with shared hope, we jumped off the cliff. Three distant lights. It's represented by this. Yeah, same shit. Alright, nice. Bad ending number 3. Yeah, let's talk to the sheep, man.
やったな大将。最後の鍵の一つ。
Thank you, thank you.
キー3をゲットだ。早速総括とヒントに移らせてもらうぜ。今回のバッドエンド3、題していろいろあってちえみちゃんと心中についてだが、
A lot does happen.
残った謎の一つ、芹沢ちえみの秘密がおおむね明らかになったわけだな。まあ久石春明としては相当ひでえ目に遭わされたみてえだが、一応は味方が増えたってことでいいんじゃねえかな。ちなみにこのキー3で開く
Wait, don't spoil.
6、暗黒の9、罠
Oh, that's alright.
またすげえ飛ぶことになるが、次はついにあんこのあいつと和解できる。
Making peace with a stubborn one. Could be anyone. Hopefully it's God.
よし。
Well, since we're already over time, I might as well just check that one event, because that's the only instance we had where we got reset without dying that wasn't trying to just not go to the village. So I want to find that. Okay. It was in chapter 6. Oh, wait, there's one here too. Oh, look at that. We're finding stuff. Feast, 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 feast. And we got this too. Dude, there's a bunch. We don't need to go to it right away. We can find some cool shit. It wasn't with... Was it with Kionosuke's lynching? I think it was here. Let's just look at it real fast. Arcarius. Okay, this is when we killed Mamiya. So we hanged her.
そうだね。あの状況でどっちを選んでも仕方ないって。みんなで選んだんだから。
This is when So it looked like Chimmy would have killed her.
ごめん。
Or killed us here. Let me just look.
それが宴よ。
Oh yeah, and they don't know where the snake, and we got mommy a hand, I guess. So that's what's happening. Grandpa. Okay. Oh no, the wolves did kill us here. Fuck, it's the wrong one. Kionosuke dying. So why did this happen again? I'm trying to remember. So we reveal the guardian. And then they just... So, okay, we reveal the guardian for what? Do we have we do have a skip button.
野里さんを調べました。
確かに狼なら
それは確かですが、
どうするのよ、これ。
そんなに悲観するところじゃない。
記者と兄ちゃんとタエバーを順番にくくる。
いや、
Wait, fuck. Wait, we went too far.
やっちまついにロミーミの宴に本格参戦だ。今回のバッドエンド大将はもしや人狼ゲームのセオリーに
This isn't it at all.
従った結果ここに来たかもしれねえ。
When was that weird death? Was it not in here? That's when Takumi kills us. Ambiguity. Just read this thing, Zayden. Declare guardian. Add us. This is when we reveal Mochi?
はい。僕、負債し、室匠さん。
Okay, this is when we got Mochi hung.
室匠さんは、
やだよ。
モッチーを殺した責任は、最後まで蛇として奉仕することで果たします。
And we didn't know that Shemi is the final one, I guess.
頼む。もし雲が生きてるなら、お前を守るように
Said
言
that
って
they
おい
should
た。
protect you.
お前を信じるなら、狼はあと一人だ。できるだけ
Is that why we
蹴りをつけ
restarted?
たいもんだな。
But why would that matter? Does a spider is Mako? So for whatever reason, the group restarted after we hung Chiemi. Was it just because they knew the werewolves were gonna lose, so there's no point in playing this game with only Chiemi left? I guess that's probably it. It's probably nothing that would actually give us a hint. Bummy. Yeah, okay. I thought we might get something deeper, but I think it's just because there were... I think the conditions for summoning the monsters the werewolves have to win somehow. And I guess the dreamer was just like, okay, we're not winning shit, and just let it go. So anyways, that's gonna be it for me. Thanks for watching. Long episode, good shimmy stuff. We got a lot of options. We don't need to go to darkness. There's at least a couple routes we can unlock with our keys, so we'll try that out. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time on some more Raging Loop. Later.